Welcome back to the Bears Baseball Network. Another great weekend of Bears baseball. 5 different Bear teams reaching the championship game this weekend. Very, very exciting. And let's go ahead and get things started with 8U Nickerson. Another monster weekend. This team 8-1 on the season. They bring home their second championship in only 2 weekends as our youth prep squad. And this team, KJ, they have come to play. I got to be honest. I knew this team was going to take a big step forward. I knew these guys were going to be good, but I don't know if I could have predicted 8-1 and 2 championships in their first 2 tournaments. KJ, give me your thoughts on 8U Nickerson.
The week they won, they didn't really play any close games. They were demolishing teams. This week on Saturday, they actually lost a close game, but they came back stronger. Even Sunday, came back with a 2-0 Sunday, ended up winning the championship. Awesome job by those Nickerson boys.
Yeah, absolutely. And even in that first game Saturday, the semifinal, they were down late in the game and were able to have back-to-back shutout innings, which in 8U baseball is very difficult to hold your team to 0 runs just because of the nature of machine pitch. They were able to do it back-to-back innings to hold on for a win in the semifinal and then took care of business in the championship. A very nice job for 8U Nickerson. Moving on, another championship team, 11U Burnsville, came out with their first big championship of the season. These guys were absolutely nasty this weekend. Bernie, your team really came out to hit. And tell me about your guys this weekend, a big tournament win for you guys.
Yeah, it was a nice weekend to go 4-0. Our entire lineup just hits, man. I've said this for weeks that we can hit with any team we play. There was a point on Saturday, I think, where every single guy on our team had a hit in the same game. I think we scored 60 runs on the weekend. And then, the pitching staff, Ben Nichols came up big on Saturday for us, going deep into both games. And Owen Lewis came through on Sunday for a complete game in the game 2 and closing out the championship game. So, our hitting's here to stay. It's just a matter of can we get the A's on the mound and play a little defense.
Yeah, and Bernie, you've had to kind of build this pitching staff, and you're trying to find guys. And I'll tell you what, Ben Nichols and Owen Lewis being able to pitch in multiple games has been huge for you. And 11U, that's not easy to do because you've really got to be pitch efficient. And Ben Nichols and Owen Lewis both have been. So very nice job by those guys. Congrats to 11U Burnsville. Moving on, 13U Bell with a championship victory. They were second in their tournament last weekend, and then this weekend come out and win the championship. And I'll tell you what, down in both games on Sunday, they were down 10-2 with 2 outs in the last inning, and were able to come back and walk it off. And then in the championship, they were down by 2 runs in the last inning to come out and walk it off in the championship as well. So back-to-back walk-offs wins for Bell, and there were a lot of roster moves at 13U. Some guys who were on the bench on 13U Floyd coming down for Bell to get some more bats. Trevor Anderson coming up from 13U Kreitler and playing a big role. A lot of good performances this weekend from 13U Bell as they were able to close out the championship game. A really nice job for them. We also had 2 teams come second place. 7U Meyer had a 3-1 weekend, ended up coming second place in their tournament, and 13U Floyd in their GMB tournament went 3-1 and came second place, lost by 1 in the championship, but a very nice weekend for 13U Floyd. We had a lot of Bear wins this weekend, but we also had a lot of Bear hacks this weekend. We've got a lot of extra base hits to show you. Let's get into everybody's favorite segment. It's hacking time.
DJ Jones.
Oh yeah. Yeah. All these horses in my car got me going fast. I just wanna do the dash, put my pedal to the gas. Going so fast, hope I don't crash. One false move, that could be my last. All these horses in my car got me going fast. I just wanna do the dash, put my pedal to the gas. Going so fast, hope I don't crash. One false move, that could be my last. I just pulled up in the Benz, it was just me and my mans. Fishbowl, no turn, scooping up with her friends. Won't say that the movies, ain't got no love for the groupies. See back while she do me, she get wetter than jacuzzis. She don't go out like a green light, she get ran through like a red light. If they hit right, then the bread right. Shorty knew I be there every night. Rollin', whip A1 like steak sauce. 0 to 60, I take off. Can't see me losing like Ray Charles. They tell me slow down, I'm going too fast. Young, I just wanna do the dash. I'm so reckless, hope I don't crash. Cause I'm rollin' like the whip stolen. Yeah, all these horses in my car got me going fast. I just wanna do the dash, put my pedal to the gas. Going so fast, hope I don't crash. One false move, that could be my last. All these horses in my car got me going fast. I just wanna do the dash, put my pedal to the gas. Going so fast, hope I don't crash. One false move, that could be my last.
All big bank rolls, I got no. I just left my girlfriend, I'm in love with the ghost now. She's full of emotions, and now she's my old. Cause my Rari knows how to ride when it goes down. And my watch on froze, watch it glow when the lights out. If it's hot or cold, we gon' still bring the bikes out. I jumped out of Rolls Royce and I hop in a Lamb now. When I push the button, they like, what the fuck is that sound? Damn, I'm the man now. Only pulled up in this whip so I can stand out. Bought a icy ring and told them it's no handouts. Started up a label, bout to make a band now.
All these horses in my car got me going fast. I just wanna do the dash, put my pedal to the gas. Going so fast, hope I don't crash. One false move, that could be my last. All these horses in my car got me going fast. I just wanna do the dash, put my pedal to the gas. Going so fast, hope I don't crash. One false move, that could be my last.
I'm looking at you haters through my rearview mirror. I'm sliding in some you seeing Fast and Furious. I'm switching lanes on them, but I ain't got no gears. Shawty say she wanna ride, but she don't know how to steer. They paid me for a show, but I ain't even appear. They say Kodak Black, you drive like you ain't got no fear. They say Kodak Black, you act like you ain't got no care. I say my car got a horse like I'm in a marriage. Pull up in a Rari, I jump out with your shawty. Driving like the crash, diamond speeding to that cash. Money all in my head. If I wreck, I'm dead. The shit I'm driving, bet no won't even get behind it.
All these horses in my car got me going fast. I just wanna do the dash, put my pedal to the gas. Going so fast, hope I don't crash. One false move, that could be my last. All these horses in my car got me going fast. I just wanna do the dash, put my pedal to the gas. Going so fast, hope I don't crash. One false move, that could be my last.
And Landon Meyer with our hack of the week there, a bomb on that big Ellisville field. And I'll tell you what, Landon Meyer has started to pick things up, playing at MVP level right now. The last 3 weeks, he's just been unbelievable, and nobody really remembers his first 2 weekends that were a little bit slow, especially by his standards. He's been MVP level lately. Let's get into our standout performances of the weekend. Each of us have 4 players that we picked that were standout performers this weekend. And go ahead and, Bernie, you get things started here this week. Give me your first standout performer of the weekend.
I'll start at 13U Floyd with Quinn Steinbeck going 5 for 8 with a double and 6 RBIs. This guy's always been known as a defensive type player, but he's having a good start to the season.
I'm going to go with 8U Nickerson. Mason Arens was a key part of their championship run. 11 for 15 at the plate, 5 extra base hits, and 7 RBI.
I'm going to go with Jordan Waring. He went 6 1/3 on the mound, just 1 walk, 13 Ks in that win.
Yeah, that was our April Cy Young. Bernie, your next guy here.
I'll go to Ben Nichols, who went 6 for 9 with a double, 4 innings pitched on the mound, 3 walks, and 9 strikeouts.
I'm going to go with Parker Ells. 4 innings pitched on the mound, just 1 run allowed, 4 Ks to 1 walk. He also was 5 for 11 with a 1145 OPS on the weekend.
I'm going to go with Philly Lobeck. Philly had 5 hits this weekend. 3 of those were extra base hits. Also drove in 6.
Barney, your next player here.
I'll go to Benny Combs, who went 7 for 9 with a 1.7 OPS and a double for the 14U Floyd squad.
I'm going to go with a guy who made his debut of the season with 13U Floyd, Mason Geddes, who got called up from Bell. He had a very nice weekend, hitting .500, 7 for 14 with a double, and led the team with 7 RBIs.
My next guy is going to be Eric Latrina. He went 4 good innings on the mound. Also at the plate, had 4 hits, 2 extra base hits, drove in 5.
And my last guy from my 11U squad, Harrison Blebaum, who went 9 for 13, 6 extra base hits, and an OPS well over 2.
And I'm going to go with Trevor Anderson. This guy was a beast in his first weekend with Bell. 9 for 14 at the plate, 3 doubles, 2 triples, 6 RBIs, and also hit that walk-off in the semifinal game.
My last guy is going to be Mason Gebhardt. 8 for 12 at the plate, a over 1,600 OPS, 3 doubles, and drove in 6 on a monster weekend for Mason.
Let's move into our standout player of the weekend. Each of us have chosen one player that we decided was the standout player of the weekend. Bernie, we'll start with you. Give me your standout player of the weekend.
My standout player of the weekend from my 11U squad would be Owen Lewis, who had 7 hits, 5 of which were extra base hits, including inside the park home run, 1.9 OPS, and he also went 5 2/3 on the mound. I think he pitched in 3 separate games on the weekend with 1 walk and 9 Ks.
Yeah, a power surge for Owen Lewis. Always known for his ability to get hits, but this weekend really brought the power. I'm going to go with Landon Meyer. Like I said, this guy's been playing at MVP level. He was 6 for 13 this weekend with a double. He had that home run that was our heck of the week, a 13.03 OPS, and this guy was an absolute beast on defense as well. Landon Meyer was my standout player of the weekend.
My standout guy is going to be Lucas Wilburn. He pitched 6 innings on the mound with a 3.5 ERA. Also at the plate, he did a ton of damage, 7 hits, and 4 of those for extra base hits on a big weekend for Lucas Wilburn.
Yeah, Lucas Wilbur's been playing at MVP level all season long and continues this weekend. All right, let's move into our next segment. We're going to talk about some players who aren't getting enough hype. You know, there's a lot of guys that we talk about every single week on the BBN. You know, talk about the Kreitler guys, and now Trevor Anderson with Bell, but Anderson and Clayton, we've talked about them a lot. Talk about, obviously, ZZ Garcia, Harrison Blabaum, a ton of guys that get a lot of love on BBN. But we're going to talk about some guys who maybe have flown under the radar a little bit, haven't gotten the love that they deserve from us and also just from the general public. So let's talk about some players who aren't getting enough hype. KJ, we'll start with you. Give me your first player who you don't think is getting enough hype right now.
Yeah, I'm going to go with the Driscoll squad. I'm going to go with Jude Blattner. He's been awesome at the plate, and really what stands out to me the most is what he's done on the mound. He's becoming a certified ace for that team. He's been so reliable for that Driscoll squad that has really came out and played really good ball to start the season.
Yeah, and Jude Blattner, for me, I've kind of known him as a pitching prospect. I didn't know he was going to be this big with the bat, so the bat has been really surprising for me. I 100% agree, KJ. He's kind of flown under the radar. He's having a really nice season. I'm going to go with a guy who we talk about a lot, but not necessarily for his hitting, at least not recently. Jordan Waring was a guy that we talked about as a perennial MVP candidate. Last year at the plate wasn't the typical Jordan Waring we thought of. Usually we think of Jordan Waring as a top 5 hitter in the Bears. Last year he was more like a top 25 hitter. He wasn't really in the MVP conversation. This year I think he's right back in it. He is 3rd on his team in batting average, 2nd in OPS, 2nd in doubles, and he's got 14 walks at the plate, which leads his team. I think Jordan is right back to being MVP caliber at the plate, and I don't think we've given him enough credit so far for what he's done at the plate. Bernie, give me your first player you don't think is getting enough hype.
My first player I'll talk about from the 14U Floyd squad, I think we mentioned this guy's name a couple times the past couple weeks, but Ivan Saxon. I've said a lot on the show that I think 14U Floyd has the best top 5 in the order in the Bears. And Ivan Saxon's a part of that top 5 that everyone forgets about, I feel like. Between Willerette, Dalton, Ben Combs, Land Nickerson. Ivan bats 2 on that team most games, and he sets up all those big innings. So, I think Ivan, I know he's first place in average on that squad, so he sets up a lot of those big innings for him.
Yeah, and I would say that Jack Dalton was the best player on 14U Floyd in April, but I think Ivan Saxon's got to be the second best hitter on this team in April. He was an absolute beast, really did it all across the board. KJ, give me your second player who's not getting enough hype.
Yeah, I'm going to go with the 12UH. I'm going to go with Avery McNicholas. What he's done this year, he started off kind of slow at the plate, but what he's been doing at the plate of late has been monstrous. He's not just hitting singles, he's hitting rockets, he's hitting extra base hits. He's playing great defense at second base. And, what the 12UAs needed, what that team needed was another big bat to step up. And, him and along with a couple others have been really, great surprises with what they've done at the plate.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what, Avery, when he first joined the Bears, I kind of looked at him as a glove first, decent contact skills, good plate discipline kind of player. I've been very surprised by the amount of power he's been able to generate this season. I definitely think that the Avery McNicholas breakout is underway. He's been very, very good so far this year. My second player, once again, it's going to be a player that we've talked about a lot for his bat, but I feel like his arm has gone completely under the radar, and it's Parker Ells, an MVP caliber at the plate. But since Parker's first start, and he made his first start on opening day when it was really windy and rainy conditions that everybody kind of pitched poorly. Since that first start, he's got 21 Ks to 8 walks, a 2.15 ERA in 13 innings. He's been absolutely dominant. He's been the ace of 13U Floyd to this point. And Parker Ells, he's a guy who with the bat, we've always known he's a superstar. With the arm, it's kind of been like, can he put it all together? And I think he's definitely been putting it all together so far this season. He's a name to watch out for May Cy Young and maybe even Summer Cy Young if he can keep things rolling. Bernie, your second player who is not getting enough hype.
My second player would be Owen Lewis from the 11U squad. With the bat, I think we always knew this guy. He was a contact hitter who was not getting many extra base hits. But, he's been a free swing recently, and the extra base hits seem like they're going to start coming here. He had 5 last weekend in the field. He's not only he's quite a Gold Glove yet, but he's well on his way. He's right there with the best of them. And I know you talked about it a little bit earlier. On a pitching staff that is fairly new, I would say, Owen Lewis and Ben Nichols have been the glue of that pitch rotation so far. I think Owen's already up to 23 innings on the mound. Just his ability to go up there, eat innings, be efficient, and get outs all at the same time has been amazing for this squad.
Yeah, and that, at 11U especially, man, the ability, one of the stats that we look for in Cy Young race is innings pitched. And it seems like a silly stat because, what is a lot of bad innings, right? But innings pitched in youth baseball is huge because guys are on pitch counts. And if they can go deep into games, they're definitely giving their team a chance to win. So, especially at 11U, the amount of innings Owen's able to eat is huge for that team, and they're all very good innings as well. Let's get into our weekend series pick'em, and I'll tell you what, I finally got out of the basement, finally was able to come second place this weekend. In first place, Bernie, and in third place, KJ, so I'll move up the order this week. The singles category, Bernie won it with Dominic Palucci. He had a fantastic weekend. The OPS category, KJ won it with Mason Gebhart. The two-out RBI category, I won it with Deron Phillips. And the strikeout category, Bernie won it with Ryder Beckerman. None of us picked a player who hit an over-the-fence home run. So the bonus category, nobody got any points. On the season standings, Bernie's got 50 points, KJ's got 42, I've got 35, and the pick order this week is Bernie 1, Robbie 2, KJ 3. Our categories this week, 0 walk innings is our first category, hits, extra base hits, and walks plus hit by pitch. That is a hitting stat, walks plus hit by pitch. So, Bernie, you have the first pick. Remember, you cannot use any player that you've used already. You also can't use anybody that's been used this week by anyone, and except for the bonus category. And our bonus category is the team with the most triples this weekend. A team with the most triples. So, Bernie, go ahead. What category would you like to go to first?
Let's go to hits here.
Okay, hits. Go ahead, Bernie. Who's your pick for hits?
Just making sure I've not picked this guy. Yeah, I just talked about him. I will take Ivan Saxon from 14U Fluid.
Ivan Saxon. He's been a beast. I think definitely a worthy pick there, Bernie, and somebody that I was considering as well. I get the second pick. I'm so used to you getting the second pick. I get the second pick this week. Very, very exciting. I'm going to go with a guy who has been really hitting well this season, and let me make sure that I haven't picked him. And I have not. I'm going to go with a guy who I believe in a lot and a guy that I think is really going to put up another big weekend following his weekend this one. I'm going to go ahead and pick Trevor Anderson, who I think is going to continue to stay hot. KJ, your pick for hits.
Yeah, I'm going to ride the hype train here on a guy who's red hot at the plate. I'm going to go to 11U Burnstill and go with Owen Lewis.
Owen Lewis, a very strong pick. I was considering him, but I had already picked him for a pitching category. All right, Bernie, where are we going to next?
I'll go to 0 walk innings.
Okay, 0 walk innings. What is your pick here, Bernie?
Let me go back to those Driscoll boys. I know Jaden Coleman's thrown very well for him, so I will take Jaden Coleman. He's a strike thrower.
A very good pick there, Bernie. For me, I'm going to go with a guy who has really been cruising as of late. Let me make sure I haven't. Oh, I have picked this guy. I was going to go with Nick Byrne, but I've already picked him. So I got to go a different direction here. Okay. I'm going to go with a guy who's known for his strike throwing abilities. I'm going to go with a guy who I hope he gets the innings enough to win this category, but I think in the innings he does pitch, he's not going to walk that many guys. I'm going to go with Dylan Graham. Wait, hold on. I've already picked Dylan Graham. My mistake. I'm sorry. We're at week 6 of this thing, so we're moving through very quickly. Okay, I gotta pivot once again. I'm gonna go with the guy who is right next to Jaden Coleman on that staff. I'm gonna go with Drew Blattner. KJ, your pick for 0 walk innings.
I'm gonna go to 14U Floyd, and I'm going to go with Logan Eckert.
Definitely the king of throwing strikes here on the Bears. Bernie, where are we going to next?
Let's go to extra base hits. And I will go, make sure I haven't used him yet. I will use my bullet for Benny Combs.
That's a fantastic pick, Bernie. I'm going to... I'm going to go with Mason Gebhart as my extra base hits pick.
I'm going to ride a guy who's hot right now. I'm going to go with Landon Meyer.
An excellent choice, KJ. I consider that one as well. All right, Bernie, our final category here, walks plus hit by pitch at the plate.
Yeah. Let's see here. I'm going to my 11U squad. I will take Carter Byrne.
Carter Byrne, on base machine. All right. I'm going to go, and let's see here. It's an intriguing category because you don't want to pick somebody who's too aggressive. He's going to get himself out of walks. I'm going to take a guy who is definitely not up there to walk, but I know that he's not afraid to take walks. And a guy who is hitting at the top of the order, so I think he's not afraid to take hit by pitch, not afraid to take walks. I'm going to go with Caden Fenberg. KJ, your pick here for walks plus hit by pitch.
Yeah, I'm going to stay at that age. And I'm going to go with a guy who he walked a lot last weekend. I'm going to go with Dylan Graham.
Dylan Graham. All right. And Bernie, finally, we have our bonus category. What team in the Bears will have the most triples this weekend?
Okay. I will give me 14U Floyd.
It's a great choice, Bernie. Got a lot of triple hitters on that team. I'm going to go with 13U Bell.
I'm going to go with 11U Burnstill.
Ooh. Definitely got some triple threats on that squad. All right. That is our weekend series pick 'em. We've got a lot more baseball this weekend, a lot of Bears baseball. Make sure, get your cameras out. Send those videos into the Bears Baseball Network at gmail.com to get them on Hack in Time. That's going to do it for this episode of the Bears Baseball Network, and we'll talk to you all next week.